Hello everyone! Welcome to the Aurora Seasonal Cup. I have been a little bit sick over the past couple of weeks, so I participated in this tournament, but I didn't do any commentary over it because my throat was super inflamed, very sore, could barely speak. So that's what we're doing today. A little bit late on this one, I apologize. But here we are, it is here, and the Runin Open #1 will be coming shortly after, maybe next week or something, because I also recorded that one, but I was sick for that one too, so no commentary. I wanted to wait until I uploaded this to YouTube before I could actually give some commentary. And right now, we're going to cover the lineup that I brought, which was my exact same lineup that I brought to the Aurora Open #1. It's my no DLC lineup. And I won first place in that tournament, so I decided I wanted to try this again in a seasonal cup, the real deal, and see how it goes. Because in that one tournament, I never actually got to play much of the blue list. There was that one match where was it Happy Joe? Yeah, Happy Joe disconnected and couldn't get his internet back. So we're going to roll this back again and see how we do. This is, of course, in post, so I know the results, but I'll keep it a secret for now. And if you want to get some analysis on these deck lists, you can go and watch that video. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'll just briefly explain the concept of each of these lists. The no DLC yellow is the monstrosity list that you've probably seen multiple times by now. One of the strongest lists in the meta with monstrosity and all these high attack creatures. So not much to talk about there. I've talked about that a lot in the past. The no DLC green is a green Beastmaster. This one's pretty simple. Pretty standard also. I've brought this one a lot in the past. It's just about big stats, essentially. And then there's a couple Tekken cards, like Voice of Truth in there to fight, big angry creatures, Firebringers, but also it helps with the stat lines of Tyrian Golems and things. And then we've got the no DLC blue, which is designed by Super Blizzard. This one is teched to better fight into yellow flyers. It's very swarmy, and it's got some 7 cards like the Gabrian Warden. The Gabrian Warden very strong into flyers. And then the no DLC red is a bargain mid-range, very unconventional list. This one, essentially, you want to dump these cheap cards out of your hand, like Farm Boy, Flame Burst even, and Cypher's Wrath and Underground Brigand. Make room for just all your 7 package to play Ogre Dance and Bold Bargainer and stuff. And then, since this is only like 3 mountains max, and it's also not so much about the super expensive cards, you don't want to go down both sides of the wells, you just go down one side, go super aggro, and just crush everyone with the insane value that this deck has. So those are the lists. Let's get into the matches. And one really cool thing about today's stream is we get chat here with us in real time, no 10-minute delay. Hi JT and Patrick. But let's get this one started. It's a 4-hour stream. There are some breaks in here that we'll skip past, but another really cool thing is we get to jump ahead of any like really slow plays, so that's also cool. So first match actually here is against JT. And so I immediately lock in the, well, not lock in, but I'm looking at the ban on the mono yellow. That's one of the most frightening lists. Yellow is very good into my green. It's actually pretty solid into my yellow as well. Monstrosity is just kind of a terrible stat line into flyers, if that is a flyers list. And on 2.9, it's pretty convincing that is flyers. And then if JT bans my red here, my only counter is going to be my blue list, and I'm not feeling super comfortable about that one. So I do go on the ban for the yellow. Red should be pretty manageable. Like, the often debate here is, do you ban the yellow or do you ban the red? And my green counters the red pretty hard. Another thing to consider here is green is not usually a deck that your opponent wants to ban, because green is not, like, amazing. So they don't usually want to waste their ban on a green list. But also I have some other options to beat the red with. Blue has some sturdy stats. It is a bit swarmy, so it can, you know, there's some discrepancies there. The yellow has a sturdy monstrosity, but overall I think red should be somewhat manageable. But the biggest worry overall, I would say. We're watching a stream of a stream. You should stream this. Yes. Well, so I was away. I mean, I participated in the tournament because I was feeling well enough to participate, but I had a super inflamed throat and couldn't speak very well, so I didn't give any commentary at the time. But I wanted to, so that's what we're gonna do here today. JT started with the green-blue. We started with the blue. Wasn't this a back and forth? I think JT, you got a win in here somewhere. Can't remember if it was which one it was. I think it. Yeah, I can't remember. We'll have to watch. But green-blue is pretty convincingly beasts nowadays. Usually you're not expecting Frog Tosser anymore. And I mean, you can also count the lands. Because typically if you're running Frog Tosser, there might be like Shifting Octopus inside there. So you might be able to count that there's more than one dual-colored card. And we have the Gabrian Commander start, which is actually pretty good into the Beasts matchup. They don't have very efficient 2 damage removal for the Commander. And this Octopus coming down as a 5 HP means our Gabrian Commander can flip into 5 attack. Very cool. I also kept the Sunken Tower in my opening hand, along with the Gabrian Warden. Did I keep the Sunken Tower? I'm pretty sure I kept it. Thought it would be cool, since Beasts is slow-ish. Obviously it's got jump and things, but the lands are a little bit clunky. You've got to build up 4 lands, so they can be a little bit slow in where they want to invest their lands and their creatures. The Octopus hopping back pretty good to threaten this 4-2 that unfortunately did not flip. Flip would be huge here though, because I could both collect Sunken Tower and trade. Or actually, even the better pick would be the Mystic Beast. But not only that, so I did go for the draw there to try and flip, because it would just been huge here. Because we do have the Gabrian Warden in hand too, to give protection on top of that Sunken Tower. Didn't get rewarded though, that would have been like nearly game winning on the spot. So I take the collection and go for Warden. This play is interesting. Yeah, actually, yeah, I don't mind this play. A couple of reasons. I mean, we got the Emperor's Command to deal with the 1 HP should he attack, but he really doesn't want to invest this land anyways. Largely because Beasts usually only wants 4 lands. So this is just a really expensive investment. He could have gone for like double neutral. The other thing also though, like the Octopus just doesn't do anything here. He doesn't kill the Commander. So I think it's fine, and also in anticipation for this flipping into a 5 attack. This is a really good creature to have the protection on, is probably almost always the creature I want protection. And then the 4-6 is set up in a spot to threaten this Mystic Beast now too, so JT's got to be a little bit concerned about this Mystic Beast's life here. Not super concerned though, now that the Octopus is kind of defending him.
You are tiny!
The Beast list. Was also super tired this match. Fair. Hello, Lawrence. You are tiny. Is going to invest the other land and play a buff. Alright. So the buff is not bad at all because the 3-2 of mine is lined up. Really nice flip here. The unfortunate thing about this turn though is we did flip, but I've got no follow-up creatures. Like, I almost really want to take out this octopus that's double collecting. I do have that protection, but I don't have any follow-up creatures here. So I think I might end up going for a draw here just to try and find a creature. But if I do want to take that octopus out, I have to invest 2 Faeria here. We get into a Colossus. So, extremely debatable play here that I make. I really want to take out that double collector, but the other thing to consider is I now have 2 Colossi in hand. And so with the 2 Colossus, I probably want to stay collecting as much as possible. But taking the double collector is so juicy as well, because I'd have to move center here, right? And then I'm in range of the Grizzly. But with this play also, he's got to invest not only another land to kill this, but then he's not collecting with this Grizzly, and he's really far away from the collection spaces. So I decided to go for this line. It was really debatable though. Like, with the double Colossus in hand, it might be better to go for collections, but on the other hand, I have a lot of Swarm in this deck, like a lot of creatures, so I should be able to manage these Colossus in the future. I was considering maybe Humbling Vision as well, but the issue with Humbling Vision there is he can still take a value trade with a buff, with a Runan's Guidance. And then I've got 0 Faeria to spend on anything, which is a big deal here because I've got nothing to play again. So I felt that not investing the Humbling was a good play. Because I don't know what's in JT's list. He might even have Elderwood Embrace in the list. And that would be super punishing if I pre-humble that. But here I go for the draw, hoping for a creature. I have a lot of creatures in this list, and I'm just bricking, unfortunately. But at least Colossus is playable. I think I do end up going for it just as something. And I actually put it in the center here. Now there's a debatable play with this guy. I could put him on the collection space. Both to get a collection, but then also I can shift and get another collection, discount this Colossus. But having a 7/7 double collector just feels really bad. I really want this to fight stuff. And since JT's been forced to make these awkward land placements and awkward Grizzly, I think having the 7/7 to fight with is better. I'm also threatening all of these... Actually, all of his land spaces here I'm threatening because of my Sunken Tower. And the Seedling goes over and collects here. This one was actually a curious placement. I think, like, maybe backwards would have been better just to give your Grizzly a collection spot, but I might end up just taking this trade now anyways. I was drawn to a Ninja Toad, again a not playable creature, real sad. But here I have the option. I set up the Colossus in a space where I could collect anyways on left side with the Sunken Tower. But since a buff was invested into this Grizzly, and once again, once I take this trade, he's going to be a 7/2 stat line, right? Once again, 2 HP is really difficult for beasts to deal with. 2 HP is really difficult for beasts to deal with while they don't have the initiative. So, in other words, they don't have, like, creatures on the boards. Because all they really have is Deepwood Stalker, and I'd be pretty cool with Deepwood Stalker coming down there. My Colossus gets to trade for a 3 cost, pretty cool. Why not play mono red range burn control though? Well, I wanted to win this tournament, let's say that. Did you sign up for testing for the Abraham new game? I did. I have been confirmed as a playtester. I think everyone has now. The playtest was going to happen this weekend, but they've delayed it to next weekend for reasons. Who's a part of the playtest? So in this position, I get to build my third lake. And Gabrian Warden's pretty huge here. The trade is pretty huge here too, because it takes away the beast, so this Fugu loses jump. And the protection's also huge here because I again preserve the 7-2 stat line, which is just gnarly for beasts to deal with. And keeping the Sunken Tower charge here too allows me to double collect with this 4-6. I feel much more comfortable double collecting with the 4-6 than I do with the 7-7. And then I can start to work on discounting this other Colossus in my hand. Important to know board order for this, board order in which way creatures harvest. So from my perspective, board order happens in the top left hex, goes down, and then we go to the second column, down, 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 each column like this. But from JT's perspective, that's kind of reversed. From JT's perspective, his collections happen from this space. I don't know if you can see my mouse super well. I should have brought a different mouse. This space, JT collects from first. Well, you saw it there, the Fugu collected first. So it starts here, goes up this way, and then we go from this column of hexes this way, this way, this way. It's a bit confusing, but that's just the way it is. You have to have some sort of order in which harvests happen in, and with a game like this, so that's just the way it is. Get ready for your poetry skills. All right, we'll read a poem as a once this set is over, as a little break. Wasn't pro enough, you think? There's a lot of Faeria players actually that didn't get into the playtest, which I was surprised by. I thought Faeria players would almost have like an advantage at getting a placement there, but I don't know. Maybe they're also giving a lot of spaces to Roguebook players. I think it was because of Age of Wonders 4 coming out the week of the playtest, but who knows? Maybe. So we managed to find a beast. Played the 0-1 in range of my guys, though. Oh, you're just going to go for a clear here? Sure. Yeah, so finds all the clears, tries to keep the 0-1 safe from collection. But I have a really nice Ninja Toad here where I can Ninja Toad value, and then even block the collections of the 5-2. Setting up a Colossus is a bit much, like playing Colossus in range of this because it's a 5-2 already, but I think that's the play. Oh, sorry, I can't afford that anyways. Yeah, well, that's okay. I think it's still worth it to go for the value trade here. Now there's an option to go for a Ninja Toad clear and then command clear the seedling. That might be something that a player looks towards, but that's absurdly expensive. 2 Faeria to kill the 0-1 is really bad. I'm completely fine with giving JT that collection, because this creature's dying anyways, and essentially what this does, I give my opponent a collection, but I save myself 2 from the command, and also the card as itself. And so here I want to get the 4-3 into the fight. I'm also looking at maybe a top deck Battletoads in the future, which is why I make the step down here, so that on the next turn I can still double collect with this 4-6, and then also produce another creature here like the Battletoad. Eventually I want to get this 4-6 going face, but I don't want to do it just yet. Again, I'd like this 4-3 to be in the fight a little bit. Finds a buff to value trades. Thankfully we've saved this command here to fight back with. And I've got a Colossus coming in the future too I can send face. He dumps a Colossus of his own. So we throw in the command, Now here I have the option to command his Colossus, keep him off the board. I could go for command plus Colossus here. I think I end up going command plus, or sorry, Humbling Vision. I think I end up going Humbling plus command. Insane that I got, so I only run 2 Humblings in this list and 3 commands. And I top decked every single one of them. All of my events in the list I top decked. Insane. So yeah, I invest the command as well. It's a little bit expensive, but I get to keep my 4-2 on board because of it. The other option was playing the Colossus, but I think keeping the 4-2 on board is pretty cool. Especially cool here, you invest the Colossus, which means I get to Humble. And now we get a chance to play the Colossus. I think I chicken out a little bit here and play the Colossus passive. I can't remember what I did. Yeah, okay, we're going for that. I actually top deck a Commander, which I just think is better stats. I do still want to get that Colossus going face, but I like the control I have on left side here, so I want to keep it going. So we play the nice 4-2. And the longer this control goes on, the more I'm going to snowball anyways, so if I keep this control, I'm eventually going to be able to dump this Colossus face. And even get to set up even more control left side. And now this is just going to be a steamroll, it looks like. It was over after that, yeah. Okay, let me prepare a poem. What sort of poem should we read? Poem... about civilization and savagery? Alright, so we know where this is headed. We can skip through a little bit. Yeah, he just surrenders here. Here is thinking what other deck to face this. Ah, yeah, fair enough. Gotta think about what to counter with. And red's a pretty good counter. Now there is one consideration here. If he counters with red, it means I'm most definitely countering back with green. So there's one consideration to make if JT wants to save the red for the yellow matchup as well. Pretty decent starting hand here. I am facing red, so the commanders are going to be a little bit weaker, but Triton Warrior is pretty solid. And there is quite a debate here to make too, because you want to get the commanders out as soon as possible to get them to flip, right? But against red, that can Cypher's Wrath, there's another consideration just to dump a Triton Warrior to preserve a Collector. And I think I end up going Warrior. Can't quite remember. Commander is not honestly bad, because I can double Commander. We get an Archon as well. So what do I go for? There's another option too, because I have Aid Faeria here. I can go Archon and Warrior both. So I go Archon. Looks like I'm going Archon and Warrior. I don't know if the Warrior is super necessary to play here. I think I'm just considering maybe I can double neutral over Collect and threaten this guy. And that is an option. Playing the one weakness to playing the Warrior here is it becomes weaker to Ground Shaker. Ground Shaker gets a bit more value. But we go for the 2 sturdy boys. My idea here with this play also is that I'm probably not going to play the commanders then. I do think double commander was a fine play here as well though, just to start getting them to flip. And then I can play the sturdy boys on the next turn, so I don't know. Like, maybe the double commander was better, to be honest. These are going to be 2 dead cards in my hand now. JT investing double neutrals. One important thing about the double neutral investment here is it means I don't have to play around Horsemaster at all. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Well collection for Colossus discounts. And here I could honestly play 1 commander if I want, because I've got a pretty sturdy sturdy board setup. But I go for Trident Trainer. Not sure how I feel about that. I feel like the commander was honestly just better there. Just so I have the potential to get him to flip. But maybe I'm trying to draw out some Cypher's Wraths with this. Haven't seen any so far, so could be an option. I also stay threatening the 2-3, so he can't like double neutral and step upwards. I got the 4-4 staying sturdy there. We get a mountain down. And is this Bomb Slinger? Okay, so he dashes the Ogre, not a card you see nowadays anymore, and the Ground Shaker coming down, so Ground Shaker is getting value. But my 3-1 stays alive, so that's cool. Ooh, I think I go for a pretty risky play here. I had the Humbling Vision top deck. One nice thing with the Ground Shaker placement, we're blocking his collection. So really, if I just deal with the 5-5, it's blocking a lot of collections from my opponent. Of course, Flame Brisk could come down, and that's unfortunate. Then he just gets to collect, but yeah, I think I end up going Humbling on the 5-5. Humbling on the 5-5, and then the next question here is, do I value trade with the 4-3? Or do I kill it with the 3-1? And the debate there is, like, do you want to play around a second Ground Shaker? Well, I can't play second Ground Shaker, so I don't need to play around that. But I do play into Copter here pretty bad. And I think I was really focused on the Ground Shaker, which was unplayable, of course. So I went for the value trade, but Copter is pretty big here too, and I think I do get coptered. Yeah, so he value trades the 4-3 and then Copter, and that feels really bad. Really bad. And now I do have a Ninja Toad in hand, but I played the Trident Trainer earlier, so I have a Ninja Toad buff that I really would like to not just lose to the 3-3, right? So I think what I end up doing here is just playing a Triton Warrior to block the collection again. Another option was to build a lake and just trade the 3-3. But I mean, again, I just gotta play the 5-5 anyways. I don't mind this also because he's gotta build a land to fight this, but what I didn't think to play around was Horsemaster here. I'm just getting outplayed at every step of the way, because I think that's what JT top decks here is Horsemaster. So he goes double neutrals, allowing him to clean up the 4-2 basically for free. And then the Horsemaster pops down, which is really bad. He doesn't collect at any point in time there, but that's just really bad. So I think I go for Ninja Toad here. Makes sense to Ninja Toad here now. We've used up the Triton Trainer buff, and the only debate now is, do I want to build the lake on the Explorer here, or on this space in between the wells? And I think I end up going between the wells because I do have Aurora in hand, so the in between the well spot is better for the Aurora setup in the future. Not only that, but the aquatic 4-2 can now double collect 2 without the hindrance of this prairie in the way. If I'm not confident in that flipping. Of course, if Cypher's Wrath comes down here, I'm in a really bad spot. I've just given JT way too much value with all of his turns so far. It's going to be really tough to come back. He flame bursts it, which is reasonable, but now I might not get a creature to play here, and I do not. He didn't have any follow-up creatures though, it was just the flame burst, which was interesting. So I have an opportunity to potentially come back with the Colossus on board, maybe, but then a 5/5 drops down. It's looking pretty bad for the Colossus. And Brigand now coming in threat range of face soon. Very scary. I think I actually go for Gabrian Warden here, just because I'm afraid that if I dump Colossus, he's gonna get Cypher's Wrath. So I haven't seen a single Cypher's Wrath so far, and so and I really want these collections to stick. That's like my one way to survive here, is getting collections to stick. So I think I do end up going for Warden. This guy's a lot more difficult to kill. He needs a ping damage. He needs 2 ping damage to kill this. And that's just not realistically happening, so it's pretty guaranteed that this guy's surviving. He can, like, pre-hit this, but not the end of the world. The pre-hit's pretty bad for him too, because all he's taking out is a shield and going down to 5/1 stats, but he does go for it. So if I had a command in hand, I could very nicely counter that back. Do not find the command. But honestly, I can just take the value hit. It's not the end of the world. Command would have been pretty huge here. But it's whatever. We can dump a creature afterwards. It's either Colossus or Archon. One thing to consider is this 2/3 is going to be encroaching on face very soon, so I might want to have like an Archon to deal with this. But JT's answer to this guy might be the 4/6. The Ground Shaker. So I do go for the Colossus just to maintain sturdy collections. I'm really desperate for collections to stay in this match, because JT is on 11 Faeria. He's just got such a huge lead right now. The 7/7 is a big investment, but I have some other tools like the Archon. It is really unfortunate that I let the 2/3 step up on me though, but he can also just double neutral here and step out of range of things, so I don't know. Wrath does come down. Wrath is a lot better than Ground Shaker, so I'm cool with that. And he finds a Horsemaster, which is pretty insane. He gets that extra 2 Faeria and the Baldurion setup. So that's pretty game losing on the spot. I do find Phantasm actually. Okay, so I can Phantasm the 5/5. I think if Baldurion procs, it's pretty game over. But this hurts. 7 Faeria to just take off the shield off Bulgurion, essentially, and produce a 5/5 of my own. I mean, there are worse value plays, but doesn't feel great when you're behind. So, what's he do? Flame Burst? Oh, hook? Grappling hooks and trades with the 2/3. Now that was an interesting play. He does set up a 2-turn clock here with the 5/5, but he misses the free combat hit with the 2/3. I don't know if it's going to matter super much because he's quite ahead, but I get to drop a 6/6. Now there's a chance that I come back here because I do now have these really efficient 6/6 Archons, and I do have healing in the list. So I do have a chance of winning this match, but JT sitting on 15 Faeria. And that Colossus forced to just keep double collecting, which is unfortunate. And now I'm not only one shot away with that Phantasm, but with the Horsemaster step up, I'm also in range of Flame Burst, Cypher's Wrath, because the 6/6 is going on 1 HP now. Not looking too good. The Copter comes down, so that does actually take away a Cypher's Wrath target from JT. Well, I guess the 7/5 is still here. That's still a Wrath target, yeah. Don't have many options here. I just kind of have to take the 5/5. I would like to draw for healing. I think there's no reason to not draw, right? If I +1, I'm going for what? Ninja Toad, Commander. Right, I guess I do kind of want to take this 3/2 out, which requires Ninja Toad, but I get to collect off the well, so I do still have 7 Faeria here, right? So draw would make sense. Do I not draw? Okay, draw last. Didn't want to overshow your hand for the next game. That's fair too if you have some surprise cards. Ooh, I'm going for the Toads. Okay. So, yeah. Right, well, okay. Right, I guess if I drew into heal there, that would be game losing, because I'd have to invest my entire Faeria pool into the heal, so actually this is very fair. I think he does find the double Flame Burst, but yeah, if I had top decked heal there, that would be all that I'm playing that turn, and I'd get no additional creatures on board, and so I'd just lose anyway, so yeah, okay, I agree with the +1 there. That was fine. Didn't pay off though, but now we get to hard counter with the green list, so we should be okay. Deepwood Stalker doesn't have any targets in the early game, that's only Horsemaster. I could keep Willow plus Boar combo. I do. That's always a debatable option. Like against red, Willow's really bad. I mean, it's good. It's a good sturdy collector, I guess, but it's bad into the stat lines if he fights same side. But he invests the Axe Grinder, so I get to pick sides where the Willow goes. I guess I would get to anyways, because I'm going second. But Ancient Boar is a nice sturdy stat line to fight red with. We do top deck Oakling. Oakling's a really good feed target, though. Oh, yeah, I had the option here to play the Oakling, because I was on 8 Faeria there. JT going both sides, though. He is running grappling hook. I don't know if it's enough. Not sure. Like, typically into this matchup, red wants to really hard push down one side and try and get in as many face hits as possible. Maybe the hooks change something, but I'm not sure. And I end up playing the Oakling anyways, so I miss one collection here by not playing it that first turn. Whoops. It also makes a big difference that JT went for slower land placements. I don't need to invest the Ancient Boar anymore. I can wait for JT to invest his other lands, and he invests into right side, so now I can put the Ancient Boars on this right side. I did top deck a Grove Guardian here now, though, instead. But I go for the Boar. Okay, so I think the Grove Guardian was a bit better here. I might have realized this afterwards, too, because he can now Horsemaster and hit my Willow for free, which does not feel good. I guess it's not that big a deal. I don't know. He gets 3 Faeria by doing that with a Horsemaster. Actually, he gets 5 Faeria because I have to hit it back. So that's pretty big. I don't think I'd really want to give him that play. Grove Guardian seemed better. The issue, though, is, like, Grove Guardian's really weak to Ground Shaker. So I don't know. I guess this play was super debatable. I could have also gone for 2 Ancient Boars, but that's also weak to Ground Shaker, playing more Swarm. So I don't know. I guess I'm just really looking to draw out the Ground Shaker here. And oh, yeah, okay. So Ground Shaker comes down here, which is absolutely fine. He invests 2 events into killing that one creature, and then he only gets 2 pings on the with the Ground Shaker, so really solid. And I'm actually on 5 forests here, so I get to slap a Tyrian Golem down. Very cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't trade super well into Shaker, but oh well. 5/10 for 5 cost is a 5/10. Also playing out of range of Grappling Hook, and hey, we'll slap down another big boy. We saw the 1 Shaker, so don't need to worry about swarming too much at the moment. But yeah, Grappling Hook's pretty big here. I do want the Oakling to die, but I'd rather not have an Axe Grinder at my face for now. I guess it wouldn't be that big a deal, because I do get the Oakling buff, but preserving face damage feels important. You had 2 Firestorms in hand. Oh, wow. In the last game? Yeah, fair. Firestorm isn't a card I would play around. After seeing the Copter and a bunch of the other cards too, like the 5/5 Ogre, I definitely am not going to be playing around Firestorm in this match. So holding that information is pretty good. Though, so I did mention how the Tyrian doesn't trade super favorably into the Ground Shaker, but I have this 1/6 really nice and pretty set up here to trade. And JTU blocking with the 5/5, but straight into the 5/10, so I don't know how I feel about that. I think it would have been better, honestly, in this position to drop a creature on this mountain, because then I have to make a choice. Do I kill the creature on the mountain with the Golem, or do I use the Living Willow? Because I'm pretty much forced to step up with Willow and take this trade, but unfortunately in this position, I actually survive. So a creature, I think, on this mountain would have survived. But now this is an easy trade. Easy trade, and we get the Ancient Boar. And here I'm now debating the hook once again. I decide to pass. I really don't think it would be a big deal though. Like, I could have just stepped up and collected, except the hook, because I've got the 5/5 in range. It really doesn't make a difference, but one thing that could happen, I guess, is he hooks, he builds an aggro mountain, and then he dumps a creature. But, I mean, I got a taunt in hand, I have a Oakling buffed creature in hand, I really don't think it's gonna matter. And this Oakling also is getting less and less juicy as a feed target. The other thing also, I don't want this Oakling to get the other Oakling buff. Always hits Voice of Truth. Oakling buffs 100% of the time always hit Voice of Truth buffs. But actually pretty solid in this position because I get to heal my Golem. With the Shaker though, there's now a hook potential on the 4/4, so I gotta be careful about that guy. The Voice of Truth is 6 power, so really nice at fighting the Ground Shaker. Not a whole lot I can do actually about defending the hook here, because I want to step up the 5/10, so I just do that anyways, and I'll accept the hook, and now there's like 2 hook lines that he can take too. Move my Golem away from the spot where he could hook into, but yeah, again, I've got that taunt here, so I should be able to feel pretty safe. Laya comes down, a little bit annoying, right into that 6/10. Now I could ignore the Laya. I could just straight up hit in and dump like a Tyrian Golem, which can now become 6 power actually. Oh, I took a draw there, I guess. But I also just have a 4/4 lined up to trade with the Laya, so that's pretty cool. I want to play Arid in here. Doesn't trade super efficiently into the Laya, but I mean, go for it anyways. It's just 5 Faeria to do nothing, like I just gain stats, so it's a little bit expensive, but I figure it'll pay off. This game's going slow. And hey, maybe I top deck an Emperor's Command. Takes a draw. And yeah, so just gonna value trade the 3/3. Pretty obvious play there. He just gets a free unit. So I could try drawing for command. And I find it! Amazing. Amazing. Actually very incredible. I end up hitting the structure, which is a bit of a mistake because I just give him a value trade again. It doesn't really matter in this position. I mean, we're playing green into reds. But It was really unnecessary to step the 4-4. I could have just kept the structure here as a blocker, hit it next turn, and then stepped the 6-10 to body block. That was just really unnecessary. And yeah, so he just takes the free value trades. It is free. And then he gets a 5-5 up there. And a Baldurian. But Baldurian can't come in land range, or he dies. Deepwood Stalker actually is 5 power here if I play the Beastmaster. I actually could have done that. I didn't calculate the numbers, I guess. But I think I end up just killing the Axe Grinder anyways. But with the Beastmaster plus the double Beastmaster plus the extra buff there, I mean, I could have just one-shot that guy and then done my trades a little bit differently and gotten an aggro Voice of Truth. Something I wanted to play around in this position though was Hook, because he can hook and then teleport to a land. But then also here, the 5-3 is really vulnerable to Flame Burst, so I think even in this situation it would have been better just to play another Golem, because he can Flame Burst Hook here, and then he's got the Hammer, which is actually pretty frightening. So, I don't know. Actually, a lot of misplays I made in this match, but this is typically the matchup you just turn your brain off. But he doesn't have the Flame Burst Hook, thankfully, so he just takes out the free units. He does have Flame Burst though. So that was one of the combo pieces he needed. Very scary. Now Beastmaster's pretty much done its job. I'm just going to take some value trades with him and lock down this Baldurion just to play around Hook even harder. So if there's 2 Flame Bursts or 2 Firestorms in the list, actually a pretty scary tool that I'm not playing around. Suppose it's not like that good here because he's actually just 1 damage shy of killing this Grove Guardian. And it actually doesn't even do that much anyways. Firestorm and then sack your 5-5. But I mean, JT is pretty behind here. So I think it's just gonna be a slow eventual march to kill face. Be Golem. And one spooky thing it can do is build double neutrals to my face, hook, and then teleport. And it gets a free 5 HP, but I do have that Voice of Truth in hand, so it's not a big deal. And he gains 1 attack stat from that. Not a huge deal. Tries to dump an Axe Grinder, but we have a lot of face damage. And I think I'm just gonna sack my guy here. It's not really a huge purpose in keeping the 3 HP alive. We'll just get as many stats as we can out of it. Take the trades. Deny collections. Doesn't make a big difference. And he does end up hooking. Gets a big 8-10. Can't teleport anywhere though. Needs to defend face. And we find our lethal. But JT just surrenders. So mono green, I mean, pretty predictable matchup. Mono green beating the mono red. Now we're gonna move on to the yellow blue, which is interesting color combination. So I have no idea what this could really be. It's probably something with like a Stanu or something, some swarmy things. And the Stanu actually pretty decent into Beastmaster. But we get the Aridin start and the Beastmaster start. Insane. So that looks like a keeper. Oakling, not a great fighting tool, but I mean, I'm going to be fighting with the Aridin at first anyways. Now, there's always a debate to start center land with the Aridin so that you can fight your opponent's sides. But since JT can just do this, start center himself, I figure this is just better anyways. And I dumped the Beastmaster for two reasons. This, potentially to bait him into fighting same side so that I can dump Aridin. He actually dodges side though, and it's actually a blue-yellow tempo. So I get to put the Aridin same sides. Very cool. Now, unfortunately, I can't play any creatures until this Aridin dies. Oh, but he actually is dumping a creature here to hit into. You shouldn't have. So generous. Yep, so I get to trade off my Aridin for free, looks like, and give me card draws. I like that. And then I could counter with the Stalker. Right, I don't have a lot to play here, I guess. I only have 5 Faeria to work with, and the Ancient Boars are not discounted. So it's either Stalker or just the Oakling. Actually, the Oakling's better here, right? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for Oakling. Because Stalker doesn't really prevent any collections. This tow ship kind of wants to step up, aggressive. And if, if it goes back passive to collect, then it's fine. It's whatever. One thing, this Oakling probably isn't going to be getting fed. So this feed will be stuck in my hand for 1 turn longer, because he really wants to take that combat hit. Oh, what's this? He really wants to take that combat hit for the value trade, and then it's no longer good at feeding. Oh, command. Well, now it is a juicy feed target. Oh, but he pre-hits. Okay, so, well, I'll take the free draws once again. And yeah, this was like really good for me. I ate up a command from my opponent and still got to kill the creature after all, and I got 2 card draws, which is absolutely insane. And this isn't really a husk list, I don't think, but regardless, I'll take free card draws. And now important to note that this guy's going to be on 7 HP, so I'm going to dump the Grove Guardian here on 7 power to fight it. It was debatable which space to play this on. I could have put it backwards to dodge like some shenanigans with training plus Soul Drain or something. This position, if he doesn't have those cards though, allows me to fight it, but I think realistically I should have played the 7-8 backwards. It's kind of important to use this to deal with the 4-7, because I don't have other efficient options. I guess I could dump like 2 Ancient Boars or something, I don't know. Still not very efficient. But thankfully we get our trades. We get our value trades. And even more card draws from the Llamacorns. So it looks like I'm not drawing anymore this game. Alright, and the Voice of Truth was the one that got the Oakling buff. So when I have so many cards in hand, I really would like to get this Voice of Truth down, so I make use of this stat line. And I'm gonna do so just to heal 2 HP on my Grove Guardian. The attack doesn't really matter. This does play into training though. I don't know if it was super necessary playing the 8-12 right now. I could have gone for like Ancient Boar, because 4 HP is honestly fine. That's not dying to a lot of things. Like, that's dying to Wind Soldier plus training, which is very expensive, so I think I could have held on to this one more turn. I guess the issue though is I'm gonna run out of actual targets for the Voice of Truth to go on to. Like, once the Grove Guardian's dead, what am I hitting into anymore? And like, the longer I wait, like, the less and less value I get from that Oakling that sacrificed itself. Now I've just got this big 4-cost 8-12 in hand, not doing anything. He does find the training, but hey, I mean, what this Voice of Truth did then was it drew out a training from my opponent, and I still get to play the 8-12. Okay, I do have Feed in hand I can use, and I could even go for Golem Feed. Actually, that's the only thing I would go for, I guess, in this position. Since I got so many cards in hand, Golem Feed seems solid. And I got a lot of buffs in hand too. Just gotta decide where I want this forest. Put it on left side to fight the 5-5, because also with the sack, I'm gonna be able to have a lot of Faeria to spend on things. Want to protect against the 5-5. I shimmy my creatures this way also, so that the taunt stays on the well. Because if there's a mobility trick and my Beastmaster's on the well, he gets to mobility, collect, and value trade. Whereas in this position, if he has a mobility trick, he has to move away from the well, so he misses a collection this way. So I think it's important to have the taunt on the well. Blocking a lot of collections here though. That Tyrion Feed giving me so much that I only have 4 cards left in my hand. Does find the Flash Wind, so we did end up denying him that one collection. And a Shadow Silk Fairy comes down with the Emperor's Command in hand. Give a little back talk to my opponent. Bye bye Fairy. And that's a really huge swing. I just ate 3 Faeria from him. Denied all those collections, so I'm in a really good spot. I don't think I can lose here anymore. Especially since it's blue-yellow tempo. There's not a lot of cards that can come down to contest the things that I'm doing here. We'll go for another heal. This one's a bit more important. Healing the 3 HP because Wind Soldier's a straight kill. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter because of our amazing board presence, but it's an idea. Oh boy, more cards for me to draw. And I got so much Faeria to spend here, I just go for a Time of Legends. We get the Gagana. And we'll play at our range of training. So JT could just surrender here. I think that's what he's about to do. He says he needs to buy more chests. Yes. Alright. And I think that's gonna take the victory for this round. I actually can't remember what round this was. Probably round of 8? Round of 16? Hard to tell. But, okay, we'll read a quick poem while we're transitioning. This one's against Bamser. I wish I knew which round this was, though. Was this... I think that might have been round of 16. This is round of 8. That was Bamser. Well, we'll figure it out as we go. So I see a disciple list. I'm gonna ban this one. There's also a Carassius list, but Carassius is a bit more manageable than Disciple. Disciple's just really dumb. But I am debating between the two. There are debates to be had, but ultimately I think I have some fast lists. Even like the Monstrosity list is pretty good at just sitting back, dodging the Carassius for a while, and then sending in the OTK. Can't do that with Disciple though. Disciple just wins by like turn 4 or something. So you can't really sit back with this type of list. I got some speed with the red and the blue, but speed is also just going to be able to beat Carassius as well. He does ban the yellow anyways. Solid ban. And debating starting with red. I don't know that red is the best start. We want to start, like, I want to save the green for the reds. This is like a bargain list, so it's not as good a matchup. But I probably still want to save it. I actually don't know why I start red here. That might have been a mistake. I should have started with blue, because I wanted red to counter the Carassius probably, and red to counter the yellow. But he does start with the Carassius, so we get the red list as our counter. Pretty happy about this first matchup. Assuming all goes well, because, you know, Carassius can obviously win any matchup if they wish. And I am tossing the Brigand here. I really want some faster cards. I want to be able to shoot my neutrals up the side. Just to fight faster, and we get rewarded with the Axe Grinder. One mountain card makes it really nice. I get to double neutral. Oh. Okay, I guess I can Axe Grinder. I guess I don't have to play that fast. Fair enough. I guess that's fair. I can Bold Bargainer on the well or something. The double neutral play is a bit awkward, I guess. We go double neutral, explore. We have to double neutral again to get the Axe Grinder aggro. It's a bit awkward. So we'll take a couple collections while we have them. Lore Thief comes down. Really nice ground shaker target. I'm just gonna take his time thinking a little bit and passes. Alright. And I get Bold Bargainer. Really good to play the Bargainers whenever you get them because there's some cheaper cards in here. So since I top decked the Hellfire, Bold Bargainer was a decent play. If I got something else, I'd probably go for Red Devil instead. And against this type of list, I don't really need the stats right away either, because Bamster is going to be playing like a lot of 1/1s, so I don't really need to care that much. And just gonna keep building lands. That 1/1 putting him in range is a bit spooky because Majinata can come down. So that 1/1's actually kind of a threat. Plays a Carassius too. So I think I end up going for Hellfire here. We will set up double neutrals, take a value trade. There's no ignoring Caressius in this matchup, so I'm just gonna go for that. And this might force my X Grinder backwards just to collect again, which is fine. Ideally, I'd want this X Grinder going aggro as well, but I don't have a lot of options. I had an option to place the second neutral here, I suppose. On C4 and then step the X Grinder, but I think collections are also fine, and I really do want these attacking lands. I think I'm also debating actually not playing Red Devil here. Stepping up the 4-3, and then I can just place the Red Devil in an aggro position next turn. And that's a valid consideration too. Because if I do play the Red Devil, actually, he's kind of backwards. Okay, that's actually what I go for. Fair enough then. Yeah, I think I like this play better than going backwards. Because the Red Devil's not in an aggressive position there. I need to build a third mountain anyways, so I might as well save that third mountain for the Devil. Bamster still on 10 Faeria though. He can really come back hard. Can play some more Caressius. I do have Garridan in this list, I think. I'm not actually sure. Do I have Garridan in this list? Perhaps? I feel like I do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have Garridan. So, if I can bait out the third hard copy of Caressius, then we can finish with Garridan, but we have to top deck it. And he actually goes for a failed Caressius. Plus the Water Alley, plus the Creation, so it's going to be a bit awkward. I really need to draw out the third hard copy of Caressius, meaning not ones from Creation, so that he can't create them anymore. That's a lot of Caressius. That's a lot to deal with. Oh dear. So pretty much we can just kill. I probably want to kill like these ones on the excuse me, on the left side. Develop Red Devil on left side as well, so that he's not in one-shot range of anything. And then hopefully, cards permitted, we can Flame Burst whatever is blocking the way and slap for 6. And that's a pretty big slap. Oh, am I debating Hellfire here even? Right, I guess I could just Hellfire. It's kind of a tough Hellfire though, isn't it? No, okay, I am just going for Flame Burst. I would love to set up this Bargainer into Hellfire, but the issue is that I don't know what my next top deck is, right? So I do just invest the Flame Burst. Hellfire just wouldn't have worked there. There's too many bodies on the board to get the clears I want. So we go for this play. This does play, like, Majinata can't come down. That's always something important to consider. Failed Majinata. That combo costs 7. So pretty much I'm safe. It's just whatever creature pops down here, which most likely is going to be a really frail body. And then perhaps we just Hellfire it. Of course, there's still going to be a lot of bodies on board, but maybe we can alternatively value hit this creature and Hellfire to kill these two. Realistically, I really want to get this face slap. If I can have him on 6 HP, that's pretty solid. And that is double Flame Burst away. We did use one Flame Burst, but double Flame Burst is nice. And he plays Enchantress, which is interesting. Though it does body block me, and it takes away that 6 power, so... not as inclined to hit the 12. But we top deck Farm Boy, which is insane, because now we get to Bold Bargainer and Hellfire. Amazing top deck here. And we have just enough Faeria to do it too. Well, I could have +1'd, I guess, for a 2-drop, but... and so here, because we are going Bargainer, I'm gonna just rip the Hellfire after a pre-hit. I don't know why I make my placements like this. I guess I was concerned that this Crassius wouldn't die, so I didn't want to sidestep, but... I feel like sidestep was... I guess it's debatable, because now here, the 3-4 can, like, kill whatever pops down here. Because more than likely there will be a body blocker. Okay, I guess this play was fine then. I'm cool with it. But he finds another Crassius. That's the 3rd hard copy. No potential of Garrett in here though. Don't quite have enough. Actually, do I? I actually do, now that I think about it. Because we have Ogre Dance in hand and we're on 5. That discounts it to 3. Oh, no, I don't think I have enough. I think I'm 1 shy. Do you get a Bold Bargainer? So there's a debate here. Do I go for Ogre Dance or do I take a draw? And if I Ogre Dance here, there's a potential I don't get to play my playable card, so I draw. Do you find a Ground Shaker? So I am able to play the Bargainer, but I have to be careful because I have got limited land placements, right? So I'm gonna have to open up this neutral space if I want to play both of these creatures. And that's what we do. Very good value. And I think I step up this Farm Boy as well. Now that everything's 1 HP, just getting more fighting bodies out there is pretty nice. Farm Boy is such a good card. There is a potential for Maj here, but he has played 2 failed experiments already. So hopefully we don't have to worry. This guy being a nice little body blocker from the double Crassius hit. Really like that. And we got him down to 7 HP already. I guess that was from the Hellfire, yeah. So... getting closer to finishing. He plays a taunt, though. He plays 2 taunts. Oh, all on the same creature. Oh, wow. And enchant? Okay. Big creature. Yeah, taunt's a little annoying. I'm gonna taunt him back. But we top deck the Hellfire, which is crazy good here. It's actually almost a win, because we've got 7, 8, 9, 10? Yeah, he's got 10 stats on board, so I just need all the pings to hit face, and I don't. So, I mean... I would say it's an unlucky Hellfire, but it was very lucky that we drew it in that position, so I'll take it. And Aurora's Creation, the Farm Boy. Amazing. Surrender there. So we beat the Crassius. That was the one I was debating banning, but since our red list was open, we had a decent chance. And Bamster's gonna take his usual break. And so he probably counters with the red list. Yellow's gonna be pretty weak. One thing I didn't realize going into this matchup, though, is with the Brigand cover and the expense of the list, I was like, oh, this is just going to be some standard bargain list without Krog. But then he starts rushing me, and that was interesting. So I figured this is just some standard bargain deck, like a bargain, yeah, just some standard bargain deck. So I'm like, okay, I can just pick some standard cards here. I don't have to worry too much. Of course, the big bargain stats are going to be a bit of an issue. I'll just continue off to one side. And then Bamster decides to rush, and I'm like, oh no. But still I'm not expecting... Oh right, so what happens here? Yeah, he double neutrals. So I'm like, okay, it's a bargain rush deck without Krog? Because Krog costs 4 mountains, plus the meteors, which cost 5, so I'm like, alright, so this isn't Krog, this is just like a 3-land bargain rush deck, I guess. So I have a debate here whether I want to continue down one side, aggressive, or I go double collections. And I figure since there's no Krog to worry about, that I can go both sides pretty easily and fend him off. But I debate about this for a little bit, because there is still merit to going aggressive. Decide to go for the defensive play. And then he +1s and plays Magnus, which is big, but I get a top deck Shaker, which is kind of the only thing that could have saved me in this position. And so I guess if I went for the aggro land placements, I would have had to backtrack and go defensive anyways here, just to play around this Magnus. But Shaker's really nice with that Cypher's Wrath in hand, means this Magnus is only getting 1 combat hit. Can't do anything right off the bat, so I'm just gonna Wrath it. And we could step the 5-2 up, or we could step it into a collection spot, but probably I'm just going to be using the Bold Bargainer to collect with. So we just step on the mountain. This also prevents like too aggressive creatures from coming down, especially a Bold Bargainer. I guess he doesn't have enough. Well, he just got a top decked card with Magnus, right? So it could be Bargainer. So this allows him to only play 1 creature. And Red Devil works as well. Hellfire, though. Yikes. But my creature survives, which is huge. Really nice having that creature survive. So I think I got pretty lucky on that one. All of our cards are 7s in hand, so we're free to do this. Just play a bargain. I'm pretty free to play the Red Devil, I think, here as well. I wouldn't mind having my Bold Bargainer live. And then before Ground Shaker comes down, I really want to get this 2-1 in the action as well. And if he takes a value trade, we can always Hellfire. But then, surprise, surprise, who comes down but Krog's dinner, and I'm like, what? You bamboozled me. I was not expecting Krog. With the Brigand cover and the double neutral investment in the early game, I was like, excuse me? But the double neutral investment was for the Magnus to get him up aggressive. Maybe the Brigand cover is a one-of just to throw the opponent off? I don't know. I mean, it worked. It definitely threw me off. And with a triple Hellfire, pretty safe to go for Bold Bargainer. This is awkward that I didn't get just one more ping. It would have been so nice with one more ping. But not the end of the world, I get to hit in with my 2-1. Get to get some value back. Just would have preferred that to kill with 1 unit. Oh. Wait, I'm not passing. Yeah, we hit. And double hitting like this too is cool because there's a potential that both of these combat hits the same creature. Or the same cards. 0 cost Hellfire. Kills both my units, which is insane because that had 4 HP. So really lucky Hellfire on Bamster's parts. And then he gets a free Bold Bargainer into another free card. And that's real unfortunate. We had... yeah, I don't know. We didn't have much chance. Once the Krog came down, we didn't have much chance. Even though he got 2 combat hits, I mean, that's still a lot. 2 combat hits, he got 1 combat hit with the Magnus. And he's actually building to 5 mountains, which is insane to me. Again, because of that double neutral play, so... I mean, I don't know. I guess the Brigand is just a bait cover. Plays the 0 cost Shaker. Yeah, and this is pretty rough. I'm on 11 HP here and not enough stats on board to finish with. Can try for a desperate Hellfire. Am I gonna get just as lucky as Bamster and kill his 3-4? No. So this match is pretty obviously lost. We can skip ahead. So I'll counter with the blue. Blue's pretty solid. Even though I don't have Transform in this list. I mean, I got Mirror Phantasm. But even though I don't have Transform, blue really excels in this matchup because they get to go really fast and contest face. And typically that's the only thing you can do against Krog Rush is counter rush and rush them faster. Beiru's pretty solid though. Probably want to toss Battletoads because Battletoads is kind of useless in this matchup. Get 2 Archons. Very cool. And so I have an option to either start center land or go for side lands. The center land pulls as Krog 1 step closer, but it's really good for my Archons. And the Beiru also threatens more stuff, potentially. Commander pickup is... oh. Okay, this was a bit bold, potentially. Right, well... I got the commander pickup, so I figured I could collect with this guy now, and feel pretty safe in collecting. And then I can also just save my Faeria for Beiru, but I don't know. I could have also just gone to the side, played Archon, slow played it. It would be quite a slow play, but... I also figure here, since Bamster is forced to invest another mountain, my Beiru gets to chomp 2 mountains, which is pretty cool. I don't think this would be a good play without the commander, though. But it was still solid also to go down the sides. And he actually finds the Brigand, so that's almost a bit spooky, because he's got 8 stats here to contest my 10 HP Beirut. But I'm invested in it now, we just go for it. The other thing to consider also, there's not a lot of actually 2 damage options that Bamster has available. It's just Garridan and Hellfire. And what's he on here? He's on 5, he is on 7, so he could Hellfire. And Hellfire would suck, because I think I just actually lose to Hellfire. Probably kills the 4-2 over here. Kills the Beirut. I mean, maybe not. We restart, but, like, my lands are really bad now. So I don't know. I guess if you're not considering Brigand, this play is fine, though. Like, typically, this isn't Brigand. But this could have been, like, Bold Bargainer? What did he have? He was on 2 there. I guess he couldn't Bold Bargain. Yeah, it's kind of awkward for a list like this to come up with the stats to beat this. It was just really lucky that he had the Brigand, I guess. So I don't know, it's a debatable play. But clearly doesn't have it, because he sidesteps all his creatures. And my guy flips right in time to value trade this boy. Very cool. So now I win. That was a sketchy turn, but now I just win. Get to set up on the enemy well. Heavily discount this Colossus. He does get to Ground Shaker potentially, though. Red Devil into Shaker. Yeah, pretty good. Now I could... I think I have a couple options, right? So because I played the Beirut, I could do this to value trade this, but I could also buff my Archon by playing another 7 cost. That wouldn't be very good though. This costs 6. So yeah, I mean this play just makes sense. But okay, just surrenders. Was a really good potential there to play the Colossus next turn and boost to 6/6 stats. But yeah, pretty easy win after that. And now we're against the Husk list. This is Bamster's, what's the card called? The 5 desert card that you sacrifice a creature and you get like a Shaitan, something, a 6/3, the Oblivion Rider. So this should be a pretty easy matchup. I would say I have an advantage here. Largely because it is Husk, and I'm playing Swarm. I get to collect as many times as possible off the wells, and there's not much Bamster can do about it, so I just get to play every card that he gives me, which is sweet. And we had the Archon start again with the 4/4 on board. Get soul drained, not a big deal. We trade 3 for 2 down, but that happens sometimes with the commander. So we're just gonna swarm some more and hit that +1 button. I don't need 3 lakes right now. I'm probably more so going for double neutrals either on this right side or the left side to fight. And I really don't need a 3rd lake for a long time in this game. And I definitely don't want to click the draw button in this matchup. So we're just gonna +1. Because the 3rd lake is just going to be really clunky wherever I put it. I definitely don't want to force myself into investing a sunken tower next turn. I'm going to run into land space for one thing, but it's also just expensive. And we can decide where to put this 3rd lake in the future. Maybe there's a great Ninja Toad spot that comes in the future. Where's your soul drain now, though, bud? Really sad-looking Demon Wing, because he can't even maneuver his creatures around, since that other 2/2 is blocking his path. So now we can just double neutral. I could go for a lake here. Alright. I might be considering the sunken tower here, but I think double neutral's just better. It is nice to have a lake on this space, because I've got a Ninja Toad hopping land, but I don't know. I think double neutrals is just better. Oh, I actually am going for the tower. Right, so I want to hop up onto that aggressive land and then develop more toads. Okay. So this is maybe fair, but I almost would have preferred to collect off the enemy well for Colossus, so yeah. This line was fine. What it does is it gets my 4/4 in a really aggressive position to fight all of his lands. I get to develop more toads, and I needed the double neutral to just have spaces for all my creatures to stand on. But I think I would have preferred to collect off the well. I was thinking of using this guy to threaten this space, but yeah, I don't think there was any reason not to just collect for Colossus discount. Oh, right. No, I had to hop the 4/4 first. That's why. Right? Because I went neutral, neutral. I hopped the toad. My 4/4 was on the neutral, which is where the sunken tower needed to go. Yeah, that's why I had to do it this way. Yeah, because this space was occupied by the 2/2. No, I could have just hit and sunken tower after. Yeah, that should have been possible then. I don't know. I just didn't think of it, I guess. Five deserts. We are on champion, but thankfully champion can't do too many devastating things here. But dumps all of the 5 desert cards here. Champion plus the 6/3s. But we find a Warden. Now, I think I make a pretty cool play here. There's options. Definitely options. But I'm gonna hop up, collect. Now this 4/4 is in a position to actually trade off with the champion with this command I have in hand, which is very cool. So obviously we want the 2/2 setup to hit this. Ninja Toad can come down here with a lake build. So we can clear off the 6-3. It's a little bit expensive, 4 cost to deal the 3 damage, but with a command, we get a value trade on the champion, which is something I really want to lock down because that 5 movement is really devastating. He can really mess with my toads. And in this position, I think I am hopping back the 2-2. I don't know if it makes a big difference. Like, I don't really see many ways this guy can actually hit the toad. It's pretty much just he has to build double neutral, then champion my toad, and then value trade. So I just play around that. And I guess it's worth it when he's on 11 still. So fair enough. Also, if this toad gets, like, traded, this is a better double collections position. I don't know. But now we're forced to just go back and collect, which is fine. Not a big deal. Right, so I'm thinking of investing the Warden here, but it's a 4-6 stat line into the 3-6. Not super favorable. I'd rather play the Triton Trainer. I think I could just go for a draw here. Oh, right, but I'm playing against Husk. Yeah, fair enough. So, yeah, I guess because of limited cards, you might be convinced to draw a card here, but since we're in the Husk matchup, where he's just going to be feeding me free cards with Merchant and Storyteller, +1 is always the better option. And he has nothing playable. Fantastic. So I might as well dump the Warden. Now for some reason I give the protection to the 2-2 instead of the 3-2, even though I know the 3-2 is going to be hitting this guy. I guess maybe I'm afraid of, like, movement trick over in value trades, but I could have also just kept the 2-2 backwards to play around that. It would have been a lot better to have protection on the 3-2. Or even the 4-6 itself, but then you're playing into Nightmare a little bit. And now these +1s that I've been taking over and over are really paying off. I now get free cards to play. Excellent. And even more free cards with the Llamacorn. So we'll humble for a value trade. We're kind of forced to. I don't have much of a choice. Debatable whether to hit the 2-2 into it or just the 4-6. I think the 4-6 is better. Just to take some value with the 4-4. He gets traded really easily by 6 stat lines, right? The 6 power. I guess he has played all of his 6-3s now, though. But here it's very awkward that I didn't shield the 3-2, because I would have loved a 3-2 to fight the Merchant. Now I'm stuck with just a protection 2-2 for no reason. Bamster still sitting on 13 Faeria, definitely things he can still do here. With the right top decks, the right merchant cards. So he gives me Freedom Fighter and Silent Warrior. And a Frog Tosser. Oh, I guess the shield paid off. We saved our toad. And double husks. Gets to refill the hand and block face a little bit. So there's a few things happening on the board here. I really want to step up this 6/6. So I probably want to use the stats of this guy to deal with the tosser instead of like the toad or something. Because I don't really care about this being 3 HP. I'm not actually sure if... I don't think Bamster runs Wind Soldier, so I don't need to care too much. This 2/2 is sitting in the middle of nowhere, so I don't need to care about this guy. We can just take all the trades on the side creatures. I could Freedom Fighter this. It's a bit expensive, but not a big deal. I'm gonna set it up for next turn, actually. So I build this neutral on the well, so that if this 3/3 steps away or does something else... Oh no, sorry, this is what I'm doing. I'm setting it up for the value trade on the 2/2. There's actually two 2/2s under this. There's the toad as well. So this neutral sets up a collection and value trade for the Freedom Fighter. Yeah, that's what I was doing there. Because it doesn't feel very good to Freedom Fighter this. Costs 4 to do so. We deny a collection, but I'd much rather take a value trade. That sounds a lot better. Third merchant coming down, and even with all those +1s, look how many cards we have to play. Insane. If we had taken like a couple card draws earlier in the game, we would be 2 Faeria down, and on like max hand size. Gives me Toe Ship and Champion. And plays a Freedom Fighter. He gets the value traded Freedom Fighter. But we're gonna take one back. Soul Drains the 7/4. He would have got more healing if he had just Soul Drained the 4/2, right? And he could have hit the Colossus? I don't know. But we do get our value trade after all. And there's a surrender. So that's... Is that it? Or do we have one more? Okay. So we take the crown. I think this was the round of 8. And then so we're going to move on to the semis. Against Opanico. Is this the semis? Yeah, this should be the semifinals. So I'm locking in a ban on the red-green. This is like Crackthorn. I'm not locking in, just considering it. Either the red-green or the red-yellow. Red-yellow is always spooky. I mean, anything with red is spooky. But I don't think I have a ton of answers to the Crackthorn. I guess I have some things. The Crackthorn's definitely slower, so we can use like monstrosity strats. We got some transform in blue, but this is not going to be that great a matchup. Excuse me. The mono green, maybe. We got some Voice of Truth in there. Maybe we can outscale. Kind of hard. The Crackthorn list is pretty greedy, but we do ban the red-yellow. I do think red-yellow is a lot stronger anyways. That's a harder list to fight. And we have the yellow open, so I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy. This is like the one sketchy matchup that I'm thinking about. And we got a yellow rush over here, which green should do pretty well into. And I want to save the yellow for this matchup, so starting with this. I guess, I don't know, the yellow matchup's kind of debatable. Like, I've got a lot of weak stat lines to the ping damage that comes down. But, I don't know. I hope that we can do something there. So this list, judging by the cover, it's kind of hard to analyze. but I figure it's some sort of creation chaos list maybe. Since there's like one mountain in there, there's a lot of lakes. There's a bunch of neutrals. I figure it's something to do with chaos, or maybe some creation shenanigans. Finds a water Ellie start. But since he's only on like one mountain on the deck cover, we're pretty safe to play our 2 HPs like Commander. I think it's Trainer Commander. And Trainer's pretty good here too because we get to fight the stat line of the 3-3. Even being able to play one of the Battletoads as a 3-3 is cool. I haven't spoken this much in a while, so I'm losing my voice. Will take some time to get that back, I suppose. We flip. Always cool to flip. And yeah, I can hard invest the protection here. I don't have to worry about things like Shaker or other ping damage. But almost a pretty obvious play here from El Panico is just going to be to hop the 3-3 and side shuffle the 1-1 to pop the shield. So that's definitely a thing, but I think maintaining the collection on left side's pretty cool, regardless of a shield pop. Yeah, so he hops. Hops, steps. And plays another Water Ellie. But all of these 3 attack creatures I've got going on is pretty good. On this turn, I'm trying to find a play where I could maybe value trade this 1-1 with my Ninja Toad, but it's a little bit awkward. Not actually sure if I can do that at all. There's no possibility for it. I can hop, place the lake, but nowhere for the Ninja Toad to really go, unfortunately. And we do need that 3rd lake built for the Ninja Toads. But I'm gonna hop and build that lake anyways. It's a decent space. Really aggressive. There was an option to build this lake though instead to get more attacking lands. But I feel with all this swarm in hand, I wanted the hopping lands instead to deal with his collectors and such. Because if it is chaos, I really want to be in range of wherever chaos comes down so I can answer him. And I don't particularly want to step back. Okay, I do step back. I would have loved to step middle, but I also don't want the shield to get popped. So we'll take a step back. The Gabrian Commander will live to fight another day. Okay. Doesn't have many choices here, just kind of has to hit that 3-3 into my 3-3. Oh, finds a Aurora though,
Would you
actually.
like some
Okay.
tea?
Yeah, very cool. So I did have some choices, and still sets up that 1/1 to pop the shield. So probably just have to slow play it here a little bit. Not many ins, but it's not a big deal. We're triple collecting, our opponent's single collecting. We can take it slow. Could go for the Ninja Toad value, but... maybe. The Ninja Toad value does let me to step this guy up and threaten. Oh, that is another option. I could just accept the shield pop, and then Ninja Toad over, collect. Yeah, that's pretty solid, actually. Could even dump a Colossus for 4 cost. Yeah, okay, that's a really good play, actually. Good past moon. Debatable building this mountain. I mean, the lake. I don't know if it's necessary or not. I realize it's probably not necessary, and I just slap that guy down and take a draw instead. Though, now I lose my collection because this is a really solid hit. And I do lose my collection left side. So I don't know, it was debatable whether I wanted the lake left. The issue with lake left is I gotta build another land if I want to attack with the Colossus. I guess it's likely that Alpenico plays a creature. Another consideration too is Alpenico can take this trade and play a creature safely in between the wells, whereas if I had the Colossus threatening that space, I'm actually threatening all of his land potential, which is good. Giving me all the initiative. So yeah, I guess the Colossus left side was good with the lake build. Because more than likely I'm using this guy to value trade things rather than go face, I guess. And that is what he's gonna do. And it's actually a Sirocco. Insane. And he gets the land trick, so gets Sirocco's ability popped off. We do have a Phantasm to deal with that. And I have to end up going for value trade anyway with Colossus, so... yeah, the lake build would have paid off. It would have granted me an extra collection too, so there's no reason not to, I guess. But with the Phantasm, we're looking pretty good. And now that Sirocco's down too. Sirocco's kind of a menace. Actually, if I didn't have, like, an answer to Sirocco here, he could have potentially shifted face and dealt 10 damage to me. Because Sirocco does the 3 fire spin damage, and then the 7/7 body hitting. So Sirocco's actually a 2-hit kill.
The sky is only the beginning.
The Shifting Tide does deny a lot of aggression. It's gonna be a bit of a slower march. And we play the Commander draw, because I need some flying to get over this mountain. Probably though this guy's just threatening some spaces because, and threatening the Fugora too. Because I have limited land space anyways to poke in face here. Aurora coming down. Wow. Still would really like the flip here. Now I want to value trade those toads. So we could maybe draw. We already have this lake space to dump our warrior. So this is probably just a draw. Calculating the numbers a little bit. Yeah, we do take a draw. Doesn't flip. That's okay. So I could just shift to value trade, clear before that gets out of hand. It's probably not getting out of hand, but yeah. And then we can also set this commander up to flip and threaten this guy. We had a lot of Faeria to work with those triple collections early game. Panico pretty much just forced to play in range though. He's down some collections, just gotta go for it. Oh, I think I just have a lethal here on board, don't I? Or do I? Oh, I do with the Sunken Tower. Oh. Yeah, I do. I just need to collect twice. And then Ninja Totes. I guess I don't see it though. Okay. We see it, we see it. Cool, lethal. Alright, taking game one. Always very good to take game one. So let's see what El Panico counters with. It's a tough call, but he is going to counter with the green-reds. Really happy to win that game one, because this green-red is going to be quite tricky. Beiru's cool in this matchup though. We're gonna keep it in the opener. This type of list from El Panico is like building to 8 lands. So Beiru's pretty cool. Well, actually, I'm not sure. The seed comes down, so it's not the Crackles combo. It's a little bit different. Double break-ins. I might expect to see Cypher's Wrath in this type of list. Gonna be a buff. That is a big buff. That's gonna be kind of tough to manage. So I have some options here. Could build up Faeria for Beiru, or could just slap down the Archon. We're gonna go to... I'm gonna go to 7. 7. Take a draw. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I want to get down a 4/4. We go down to 3 and then we go back up to 8 for the Beiru, assuming this doesn't get answered. Yeah, this is a bit risky. We're building up to Beiru, but I mean I had the Beiru anyways if I played a 4-drop. Just as long as this doesn't get wrathed. And now we're staring down a 4/7 Brigand at our face. Mighty spook. We'll just block with a 4/4 and a Beirut. How about that? Though I think I could have played that last turn. Oh, it was a 5/5. I might have been afraid of, like, Horsemaster 2? I don't know, Horsemaster hitting face is equally spooky as Horsemaster hitting 32, though. Shaker sads. Double Shaker mega sad. That is game losing. Yikes. Yeah, okay, I had a decent spot here actually, if these two creatures survived, because the 3/2 could come over trades, and then I'm still double collecting. But this game is just lost now with the double shaker. That's really sad. We can Archon try to set up double collection again, but that's just such a big swing from my opponent. And we did take away 2 of his lands too. But assuming this is only a Salamander list with just Splash Ground Shaker, that was probably fine.
There can be only one.
Alright, I remember this play. Yeah, this was something. Yeah, so I have the option here to +1. Oh, no, I can't play Colossus. Oh, that's super awkward. Yeah, I really want to play Colossus here. Because I invested Beirut, now this Colossus gives the buffs, and then I get a free value trade, but really unfortunately, I don't have the Faeria to play. I need it to be discounted. So the other option is command, value trade. And then +1. Yeah, it's just really rough. I take a draw though. I don't know why I draw. I should have double neutraled. I don't know what I was hoping to draw here. I think this was just the mistake. Like, double neutral was fine. I take 5 to the face. Who cares? I don't know. Like, then he steps the Ground Shaker up and I block with Colossus because this guy gets discounted twice over 2 turns. Yeah, this was just a mistake. I should have just went for double neutral collect. I don't know why I was so concerned with this guy. I think I was afraid like Horsemaster was gonna come and gobble me, but this play is just as losing as Horsemaster is, so it would have been way better to just collect, wait for a turn for Colossus, yeah, and then Salamander's just icing on the cake. We're just gonna surrender here. One misplay. I don't know if I would have won that anyways, but it was at least a chance to come back. And so we're going to try to counter with the yellow. The yellow is going to be bad into Yellow Rush, so we might as well lead with it now. It's definitely got a chance. Actually, especially since Crackthorn probably doesn't exist in this list, I think this list should do pretty okay. I'm not sure if Crackthorn exists. I guess I could have counted the numbers, yeah. I can keep Manta Rider, because we're going first, so we're closer to it with 3 desert builds. Does he find the seed opener again? Just a warrior. Warrior is pretty cool. Because you get to keep this land as a forest for your seeds in the future, but then you get to dash onto the Explorer or other lands. We'll build our lands the opposite way because of Salamander. We really don't want to play our lands in range of Salamander things. Double neutrals, though. Wait, I wonder if this is Lizard's other lists, where he's running the buffs and the combat guys and shakers. Grinder gonna try to fight. We do have a Wind Soldier in hand. We could like double neutral Wind Soldier. There's a lot of options on this turn actually. 2 trainings in hand, so I could like training this Manta and go over. Don't particularly want to play in trade range. Probably just Wind Soldier left side. Because the double neutral setup, even though I gotta step back my 0-5, the double neutral setup's pretty cool, right? Put the 5-3 down here to play out of Horsemaster. There's another option to play it on F2 just to threaten this with a training. I don't know. This is an interesting matchup. Gets a Brigand, and another Axe Grinder, a lot of pressure on left side, and now that double neutral investment is kind of looking a bit silly. So I could invest training here, just to step this guy backwards. I guess it's not a huge deal if, like, his only answer really is Horsemaster, right? And then it's gotta be on... I don't know, he needs an extra thing plus the Horsemaster. Which cannot be Shaker, because he's gotta build double neutral. Can be Shaker next turn, but then at least he's invested the Horsemaster, now I get to invest my monstrosity into doing something. So I guess this play is fine. Saving the tricks is cool, but I think also tucking in between wells was cool. It is an investment. It is an investment, I guess, yeah, because with the double neutral setup I can also step and then go. Ugh, big salamander. So my win con here is the monstrosity. I have to use monstrosity here for the win. So I really want to save as many mobility tricks as possible. I do have 2 trainings, so I could probably toss one of these, and I think I'm actually considering... Right, so I can get the Fanatic down here. Fanatic's fine. Just because this is extra stats, I can trade off for monstrosity, and... I really want to play out of Horsemaster range of the 6-5 now, so I think it's pretty important to get Fanatic down. But lots of math to do with this type of list. I gotta figure out where exactly I want this monstrosity to go. Do we go C2 or D1? Gonna scoot all the way back. Get rid of that threatening 6-5 and dump more stats. So currently I have the lethal if I can trade off all of my bodies. And if I can find an opening into El Panico's face. Which is easier said than done. actually stepping out of face range, but keeps the 2-3 to block. And top deck Wind Soldier, that is actually lethal. And all because he moved the 2-5 out of the way. Because we can now threaten this 2-3. So, takes me a second to find it. We don't even need to trade off the 3-2. Because Wind Soldier stats is going to be enough. And then Training Flash Winds. GG. So if the 2-5 had stayed there body blocking, I wouldn't have had that lethal option, funny enough. But we take the win, and that was a pretty sketchy matchup, so I'm happy to win that one. Now we're on to Yellow Rush. And this matchup... this one could go either way. We do have some pretty frail stat lines. But we're also on a pretty low land count, so we can keep up with the early game. Definitely want to get rid of Mistral Guides. Oh, do I debate keeping that? No, we want to get rid of that one. Going second against Rush? Really? Okay. I don't know. Questionable keeping the Mistral Guide, but I guess I'm thinking I could send creatures up to his face with this without needing the land investment. It's a little bit land heavy though, going second against Rush. And yeah, so starting sidelines, it is very convincing that this is a Rush deck just from the cover being such a cheap cost and being mono yellow, so I want to build full sidelines for this, for the Rush defense, and double emissary is pretty cool. We could even like invest the Deathwish Ghoul in this position just to get access to the Faeria quicker. I think Deathwish Ghoul was probably fine. I don't know, this might give me more collections though. Might find a 1 damage answer. Which he does. Pretty expensive though, 4 Faeria to take that out. But of course now there's a 5-4. And Alpenika's hope there was that I wouldn't top deck a flyer here. We do. So good for us. Probably just going to be a Manta Rider. That's really good stats on board. But we can, since we're kind of flyers, we can block this land like this. We're like a hybrid flyers. We have some land creatures like Deathwish Ghoul. Plays nothing, so I get to do what I want. Probably just Mistral Guides. We kind of want some bulky bodies now. Draw and Mistral Guides. And it's really nice to fill in these sort of sidelines here so that he can't have more stepping lands with his hasters. Another consideration though also is like Wind Soldier getting value, so I just stand here. Wind Soldier could collect or something. Salmon Prayer, pretty good. And does find the Wind Soldier, so it was well worth it standing on this base, so he didn't get the collection. Maiden Demon. Brutal. Okay, so a couple options here. We could value trade the 2/2 with our Mistral Guides and just let the 5/4 hit us. I think always we're able to play this Death Wish Ghoul. With a +1, right? We can Ghoul and Soul Drain. So we could do that. We can value trade, or we just deal with the Demon, because he's kind of spooky. Especially against Rush. And we do have that Soul Drain available to use on whatever stats we need to clean up, like the 2/2 or this. And hopefully we get a double collector here. One thing I didn't think about maybe was the Origin Archer, the Sagittarius Archer, I mean. Sagittarius Archer coming down center. I might have wanted this 3/1 here instead to actually fight the stat line. And it does come down here. A little bit awkward then, but I guess we can also just use double Flash Wind to make it there, and then we get double collection that way. So sure, that's cool, but sad. We lose our 3/1, very sad. Here though, I do have double Flash Wind to deal with the Sagittarius, which is pretty important. I don't want to keep Saggy alive. That just nets so much Faeria over a couple turns. And the next option is where I want to put the Demon. Like, do I need Demon to fight with, or do I want him to go face? I do have training that I just top decked here, so one thing I can do is set him up adjacent to the well. And then I have the option to training, double collect, fanatic face, or training, come back and hit stuff. And then at least I'm collecting. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's what I end up going for. Demon adjacent. It's a little bit spooky because Demon hits me in the face. 2 damage a turn. But at least we dealt with the Saggy. Also a bit awkward, I can't like hit with Mistral Guide and Training and Fanatic. They're kind of occupying the same space. But plays a Monk. 3-cost Falcon Dive. To make room for another Saggy. Very threatening. We do find a Wind Soldier. The only way to deal with this though is by building a desert. Which sucks. Because now I'm building more lands for his creatures to step on, but I think I have to. I don't think I can really leave that Saggy open. Ooh, I do go for a draw though, but I do get rewarded. That was a bit of a risky draw. So we get the collections, we can collect with Wind Soldier. And we dump the Fanatic. Huge top deck there, but that's a bit sketchy. I guess my idea was I go back value trade the 2/1, and then I just take a hit from the Saggy. And then the Shaitan's still on 1 HP, I guess. I also want this Shaitan to die at some point. He's pinging me in the face for a lot. And 6 power is not going to be enough to race with. Oh boy. Okay, so pretty sketchy. we have a 5/5 at our face. Not many answers to this. I'm actually going to end up having to build this desert anyways to body block. So, how about that? Ended up building it anyways. And the 6/3 can come face. It's a 4-turn lethal, which is a little long, but we'll get there eventually, maybe. I think I've seen 2 soul drains so far, so reasonably safe that this Origin Fanatic stays alive, which is good. And he does. But he does find another monk. And now I'm down to 8 HP. Yikes. We find another Fanatic though, so I think I'm gonna switch my game plan here to board clears. I don't really have many choices anyways. I really need to deal with both of these. The value trade is huge here too. So we are just gonna go for the Fanatic. We get double collection out of it this way too. And we get this Shaitan away from pinging my own face over and over. We'll have to find some other way to lethal. But we got a reasonably decent setup out of it. Still a Manta that's alive, and the 3/2, all of which are blocking my face currently, so at least I can hopefully defend off his stuff for one more turn. He's got one more Sagi coming. And I'm gonna have to find some way to deal with that. But if it doesn't come down this turn, I can potentially hop this guy onto this desert, and then I'm threatening this always while standing on this desert. But just passes, has nothing to play, or can't play anything into all this stuff. Definitely don't want to play another demon. Ooh. So I actually don't threaten this desert. I go for a collection instead. I mean that play is fair too, I guess. I really want this Manta to stay standing on this desert so that it's awkward for him to play a creature here. But I don't know how I'm answering the next Sagi. Plays a 6/6. 6/6 backwards, but we top deck the movement trick, which is crazy here because training plus Fanatic deals with that, and I don't have to worry about like movement shenanigans and hitting my face for 6. It is debatable whether to go for it here now or not, but it's really suspicious that El Panico played a 6/6 at his face and wouldn't have like follow-up movement tricks, so we probably want to answer it now. Okay, well now we step on the desert to threaten the Sagi, okay. Good. Debating playing around Soul Drain. Sure. We are getting down to really low card counts on El Panico's side. He's down to 8 cards in deck. So I'm gonna have to play around every card now that could possibly exist, like a 3rd Soul Drain. Get pinged. And there is the 3rd Soul Drain, dealing with the 2/2. Trying to preserve that HP as much as possible. So I no longer have to play around Soul Drain, but I might have to play around like a Haster. I can't remember how many monks have come down. I think there's 3. He played 1 as a falcon dive. And then yeah, he had 2 at my face. So I actually don't have to play around Soul Drain anymore. I wonder if I realized that in this moment. Can't remember. I don't have to play around any 2 damage sources. But it's getting a bit sketchy. El Panico's still on 16 HP and me on 7. I think I decide to just turtle up. And hopefully go for like a fatigue game plan. Yeah, we're just blocking face as much as possible now. Collecting and getting as many creatures on board to defend with. I think El Panico is like pretty well out of gas. There's still a lot of cards in deck coming. But losing all those Soul Drain hurts. And there probably is like Nightmare or Choking Sand though. Oh, whoa. Oh, there is a 3rd Soul Drain. Oh, okay. I thought he played 3 already, but I guess not. Gets me down to 6 HP. Very spooky. That is double Wind Soldier range. So I gotta be very careful about that. Might end up having to Soul Drain myself. Go for a draw. And I also don't have that many solid bodies to play here either, because I can't play the demon, for sure. Monstrosity is an option, but he's expensive. And here I'm just gonna play around double Wind Soldier as best I can. Step the 4/4, step the 3/2. Looking okay, maybe. El Panico's on 3 cards now, so Fatigue looking more like the win condition I need to go for. The Wind Soldier might come in clutch too for a lethal option. Choking Sand does exist, so he's gonna get maybe another Wind Soldier in here. And very spooky, but we do have that Soul Drain that we can Soul Drain ourselves just to dodge out of the 2nd range. Kind of looks like we're gonna have to. He could invest another creature here. It's actually just barter. So he does have another Soul Drain then, that means. Because I don't think I've drawn too many this game. Pretty good I didn't play the Monstrosity that turn too, huh? Because that would have gotten Choking Sand. So, just looking at ways I want to shimmy my creatures. And then I have to Soul Drain one of my own guys here. Just to play out of that Wind Soldier range. Safe, still one more turn. We can clog our face a little bit more. I still don't think it's really possible to go face here. I kind of need all hands on deck, right? Might want to play around like Nightmare or something. Like typically Yellow Rush has room for like a Nightmare and the Choking Sand. So we're just gonna shimmy a little bit. But I don't even know if I can block Nightmare plus. Let's see. He goes up to 8. He can win. Yeah, Nightmare Wind Soldier actually wins him here. Oh, sorry. I'm on 5 HP now. Never mind. Right. If I didn't heal, though, Nightmare Wind Soldier was possible. He could play Wind Soldier first, collect, then Nightmare. But I guess it's not possible. Like, he could go for it here, but if he Nightmares Wind Soldiers now... I think he just runs out of gas. But he does say well played. I think I fended him off. Other deserts, Wind Soldier, Salmon, and Demon, and the Wind Gate, and the Soul Drain. So on board, no, on board I still have the clears. And El Panico with 2 cards left in hand, pretty well out of gas, gonna be really tough to deal 4 damage. And no Wind Soldiers left, so he just surrenders. And by the skin of our teeth, we managed to take the win there in the semifinals. So that's the semis. We are moving on to the finals with this no DLC lineup in the Seasonal Cup. Very exciting. So we're against Martis. Now he's brought a Crassius list. So that's the one that I'm thinking about banning. There's also a red-yellow. Crassius I just don't have, like, a ton of answers to. I know I kept that one open in the Bamster matchup, but he also had a Disciple list, which I didn't have answers to. So, I had to pick my battles. And with red-yellow on his side, I do have green, again, to counter something like that. So I think I'm gonna lock in my ban on this. Still thinking about it a little bit. But yeah, we're gonna lock it in. He locks in the yellow ban. So we'll start with blue. We got the red to counter his yellow, and his blue, really. And then the green to counter the burn. So we'll start with blue. And he starts with blue. Now, if this was like maybe a traditional blue jump, I think our list probably has the advantage. Just being more swarmy. Tidelord is just really expensive. As good as he is, I mean, I don't even know. He was pretty expensive. 4 land for a 5-cost 6/6. Just really expensive. And go for Archon. Yeah, definitely want to hang on to those Battletoads for a little while in case Water Elemental comes down, and we need the 3 power to fight them. So I think a 4/4 is pretty sturdy. Also plays a 4/4. So we could use a 4/4 to counter. We also have access to Phantasm, though. So I'm counting my Faeria here, if I'm gonna have enough for Phantasm. And I think this is actually why I go for Trainer here instead, because next turn I'm on 10 with this collection. And I'm gonna need a double neutral to actually reach this guy. I do collect, though. I think I could have gone for Battletoads. I was thinking for some reason I wasn't collecting. I guess this way I can go one neutral and one neutral up, then I still collect. Okay, I think I just did my math wrong then. I could have just gone Battletoads here. But regardless, this is a really big swing. Just debating where I want the Phantasm. I think having Phantasm center just lets me be more aggressive with it. Contest those side lands. The 4-4 on right side is just going to be a double collector for a while. Finds a Ninja Toad. 2-cost Falcon Dive. And I'm in a pretty good spot. We get to march that 5-5 over, maintain double collections, and now set down more Battletoads. One of which is a 3-3. Yeah, so I have a trainer buff here. I gotta decide where I want this. 5-5 stat lines are not very good into this matchup, so I don't really want to play the warrior here. I play the 3-3 instead, and this is a nice placement too, because it threatens any sort of like water elemental from coming down. It just provides a lot of threat. And even a Triton Warrior is threatening because of the command. Like, initiative goes so long, it goes so far in this game, where if you're threatening all of these land placements, it's just really tough to be able to play anything anymore. He's got 13 Faeria, so maybe he can swarm. Finds a Ninja Toad. Reasonable answer. Oh, is he debating an Aurora here? Aurora's definitely okay in this spot, because it blocks my collection on his well. Ah, he's going for the free lake first? Oh, he's going for the Tide Lord, okay. No Aurora, just the Tide Lords. But we can counter back with Humbling Vision. I haven't played any 7-cost, so that's out of the picture. But Humbling's pretty good. Humbling, and then we can either set up the Trainer or the Warrior. Both are actually fine into this Water Ellie. Yeah, I don't know, both are debatable. Warrior can get commanded, and then I command them back, I guess. We just trade commands back and forth. Triton Trainer can also get commanded, but of course it's a less valuable unit. But then I can't command them back, so yeah, I guess Warrior is the better play. And the next debate is whether I want to step over the 2-2 to block Mystic Beast or not. There's one fear of like a land trick though, so I stay here. Sunken Tower can come, and then he gets a value trade on my 2-2. Which doesn't hurt that much, to be honest, because he's got to put the Sunken Tower in range of one of my creatures, but it hurts a little bit, I guess. I don't know, actually. Maybe it was worth it to hop here, because he could play Humbling Vision and Mystic Beast with a +1 here. And so he's got the value trade, and now I've got a 2-2 staring down both of these creatures. No answers to them, so I guess it was kind of worth it putting the 2-2. Because the land trick's really not that devastating. is very expensive for him. We come back with command. Yeah. And then we would still have the 5/5 to threaten a Mystic Beast. Yeah, I should have just stepped on the lake, that was fine. Humbling Vision comes down, which is great. Way more expensive than an Emperor's Command. So I'm still leaving open that Mystic Beast space. Really not threatened by it. I've got this 5/5 once again to threaten the Mystic Beast. I guess I just want the 2/2 in a double collection spot, also just more threat range. The Mystic Beast just looks kind of bad for him here. Third Ninja Toad comes down for another 2-cost Falcon Dive. And attempts to develop with the Toads. Managing both to get out of range. We can make one of these Tritons as a 4/3. Really good stat line to fight the Toads. And in this position, I can step back the 2/2 now to block Mystic Beast, because I've moved my 5/5 up. I think it's worth it. Okay. Martis just surrenders, though. He's got, like, a lot of Swarm to deal with. It's going to be pretty tough. So probably counters with the red-yellow. I actually can't remember what this was. I think it's Burn. Pretty vulnerable start with Commander Toads. I think we can toss something here. Either the Commander or the Toads needs to go. Really? I keep it? Okay. Don't know how I feel about that. I think I could have tossed one, because I only get to play one of these. Turn 1. And both are very vulnerable to the red. I think it's red-yellow burn. Yeah, well that answers that. But double Commander, I think, is reasonable to play here. Just try to get those procs as soon as possible. They're just as vulnerable as Toads are. And there is a Wrath found. But 5/3 stat line would be pretty nice to fight these Grim Guards. They will get training eventually, but maybe I can value trade one of them. Oh no, it's a Sky Anemone. Okay, well Sky Anemone is a bit annoying, but we do top deck the Sturdy Archon. So we can dump this guy. We could potentially draw. Yeah, just draw for a flip. Find it! Very cool. So Cypher's Wrath no longer an answer, and we're contesting like a training movement trick value trade. Because that Sky Anemone could have been awkward. If the flip didn't happen, and he top decked training plus Fanatic, that would be a nasty value trade. Smile. He's got access to those Scourge Flames. I think I make a bit of a mistake here. I go for double neutral up. We go collect on the left side, just for the sake of collecting, and we can threaten that 2-5, no worries. Ground Shaker doesn't exist in red, yellow, burn usually, so we don't need to worry about that. This does discount Colossus, but that Grimguard is not getting one shot, sadly, so he's kind of gonna get multiple burn hits here. I don't know, it's really debatable, because I do want those Colossus discounts. Colossus is really big in this matchup. But I take 4 face damage because of it, and there's a guaranteed Scourge Flame Spectre coming on turn 6 because he played Smile. Does find a training, so he gets the even trade, I guess, on the commander. That's 6 face damage. Yikesy. Would love like a command top deck here. I guess there's no downside to drawing because I'm not really getting anything aggressive here. I really want Colossus aggressive, but... Oh. Yeah, I think I just draw here. I don't think the aggro, like, does anything for me. Unless I want to, like, put Toad's aggro, but... there's a Scourge Flame Spectre coming next turn. I need to answer that. I guess I can answer it with Aurora. But yeah, it's a kind of a tricky turn. Oh, this is the play I went for? Okay, this was a big blunder. Maybe I missed the Iona's Smile or something, because I really needed that Aurora to fight Scourge Flame. That was a huge misplay. Wow. Like, I have nothing to deal with Scourge Flame here. And yeah, he just pops face, even invests the training for 1 extra damage, and what am I supposed to do to this? To be fair, it wouldn't matter that much. We did top deck Humbling after all. But like, I'd regardless still be on 6 HP here. I'd have to Aurora something, hit into it, and now I'm on 3 HP, no healing. Yes, it was gonna be rough regardless, but misplay nonetheless. I will attempt to Ninja Toad it, go face with the 6/6. I was also hoping, so this guy I Aurora'd before he actually procced, before he buffed, so he can actually go up to 8/8 stats here. But kind of just desperately hoping for no Flame Burst. Or top deck heal. Actually, top deck heal, not the end of the world. It might save me. No, he's got another Scourge Flame coming because he smiled, right? So he just needs to +1 Scourge next turn. Nothing I can do about it. Heal would put me to 7, and he does 5 damage to me. No, but I couldn't heal and put an aggressive creature at the same time. That was rough. Was not able to outburn the burn. But now I get to counter with the green. Really nice that I won that first matchup, so I get to continuously come back with the counter lists. We have an Oakling to start. Not the best start into red, yellow, burn, so I am going to toss him here. This type of list runs a ton of creatures, so I think it's more than reasonable to go for a full scoop here. And we get the Beastmaster, which is very nice to see. Even have a heal in hand. This matchup So green definitely has the advantage here, but it's not like as hard set as mono green into just a mono red mid-range or mono red combat. Burn has a very real chance of winning just from poking burn hits over and over and then maybe sneaking their way into face. So mono green player has to be a little bit careful. Sometimes you want to rush down one side. Though if that was the plan, usually you want to go with center land. Also depends on the list. Excuse me. The center land allows you to put a taunt there in the future to stop Scourge Flame and burn creatures from going in. It also stops like training movement trick from happening. You don't even need a taunt then, you can just slap a creature there. But I go both sides since Martis hasn't found anything. And I should be able to play this a little slower. Since I'm able to establish quite a board here, I should be able to contest Martis's creatures. With this Tyrian Golem coming soon. Oh. Yeah, double neutral makes sense. I can step on them. Oh. Oh, Ancient Boar? Sure. Yeah, I can step on the mountain here, and then I can get like an even more aggressive thing. Okay. Or I cannot step on the mountain. I don't really understand why I did that. Interesting. Yeah, Martis is free to block. A little bit annoying. Is what it is. We top deck feed. So we can feed our Oakling. And I have to build this forest, unfortunately. Doesn't feel great. But it blocks the Scourge Flame coming to my face, so that's something. Now I've got a taunt. Martis on 15 Faeria, so he can play double Scourge Flame if he wishes. One of which can hit into the the Living Willow. Might as well dash onto the collection space, deny that from the Scourge. And we can either step this back to taunt our face, or we can step onto the mountain here. And we step onto the mountain. Gonna be a little bit awkward with a movement trick, though. I almost want like a 5 attack creature at my face here to defend the Scourge. I think I like maybe misplayed this a little bit. Cause if Scourge hits my face here with a movement trick, I don't know what I have to answer. Right, I think, oh right, the Stalker got the Oakling buff. I think that's what it is. But even still, he has the option to play 2 Scourge Flame here. That could be pretty nasty at my face, but it is pretty card intensive. You'd need 2 Scourge Flames, and then you'd need 2 mobility tricks to get to face. So it's pretty card intensive. He is on 9 cards here though. Scourge number 1. He's gonna go for some collections, so we did find a movement trick. Not hitting face though. He wants to get the Wrath off, sure. And that is a bit awkward since he took the value trades, but not the end of the world. I've got healing in hand, and there was only 1 Scourge that came down after all, so not a big deal. I probably do have to invest Stalker here. which doesn't quite give me the lethal. We've got 7 plus 5 plus 4. Not gonna quite make it. That's okay. We'll set up a 2-turn lethal. I really should, though, be like having a 5 attack at my face. And there we go. There's the Tyrian Golem passive. And with the heal, we should be more than fine. With 2-turn lethal setup, Martis only on 11 Faeria. Not going to be enough to find 16 damage. Well, maybe. I guess... No, because he's got to invest Faeria also into movement tricks. Unless it's just, Flash Winds. Yeah. Because that's 3 Faeria not going towards burn damage, and we top deck the second heal. Incredible. The second heal is just gonna steal it. Yeah, just play all the things, even get a taunt in there. GG. Martis may be looking for a self-lethal. Self-lethal? Double Flame Burst in hand. Double Anemone would have saved him one more turn, I guess. Well, it doesn't really matter. He invested all his burn and Faeria there. So we're gonna take match 3, and now we gotta face the yellow list, which mono green is rough into. Not a great matchup here. But I still have my red list to counter. The red list was meant to be the counter, so feeling pretty confident about the series overall. And we get an Aridin start, which is huge. Great into the Flyers matchup. We can get some 6 HP creatures. I toss the Ancient Boar. Most of this game is just going to be Aridin and trying to trade it off before I play anything. So if I top deck like Beastmaster there, it would have been pretty cool. Martis investing aside with the Demon Wing, so I get to follow with the Aridin. Find a Beastmaster, and I really want this Aridin to die off, so I'm just gonna play him into trade range. Collections don't matter so much. I'm really concerned about getting those stats online as soon as possible. Already, this Aridin has cost me 4, and hopefully he gets to nibble at a Demon Wing here. But probably the Demon Wing just retreats. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to chase this guy down, which is annoying. But that's the Flyers matchup. They can go on any lands. And this is why it's just so brutal for green to deal with. So I might want to play some creatures here. Since I did get the top deck Beastmaster, I can protect it with a 2-attack Willow. And so we're not going to miss out on too many collections, because currently this Demon Wing can keep running away, and our poor Aridin is not going to be able to keep up. He gets to keep up on one turn. When he steps back, I step forwards. then he can only step to this space, but movement tricks can always change things too. We get to build our 5th forest. No need to build any more at this point now, which is nice. Our opponent has bridged this land space for us. And yeah, the Demon Wing just steps up because he has to. So we're gonna lose our Aridin here, which is a good thing. This will make our Ancient Boars 5/6s, which trade really nicely with the 5 attacks. 6 HP, a very good threshold against flyers. Does find a monstrosity though, so this guy's gonna start gaining some value and some very spooky OTK potential. And a champion. And a fanatic. So Martis using all his mobility tricks here. But I guess that's fair. You do want to get these stats down on board so that Monstrosity can gain the attack. So I guess you kind of forced to do that. Stalker just to deal with the little nibbler. I could have saved this for the monstrosity potentially, but it's kind of a stretch. I would need a second Beastmaster, and I need my Beastmaster to survive just to deal 5 damage to this. So I don't know. I think Lizard mentioned here I didn't need to play the Grove Guardian. I could have just sidestepped my Living Willow, that taunt was fine, because already Martis is threatening a potential lethal with that monstrosity. Which might be true, I don't know. It's nice to have more taunts on board. The issue is, like, the Willow doesn't really trade nicely into the 5/3. Takes 2 hits and then he's dead. A Wind Soldier can potentially kill it, but all of this like clogged up swarm stuff is pretty nice, to be honest. Like we got that Ancient Boar blocking a lot as well, blocking that champion. I also like the Living Willow staying here to protect my Beastmaster, so yeah, I do think the second taunt is necessary. Because the protecting Beastmaster seems important. And I think Martis actually goes all in here. Takes a hit on the Grove Guardian. Desert Twisters. I think that was a misplay though, he could have gotten 1 extra collection there. But he did get 23 attack, he just needs a Wind Soldier. Well, he actually needs... oh, he doesn't have enough in hand, he's only got 2 cards. He needed a Wind Soldier there, and a Training, to get bypass this taunt. And then another mobility trick, so that was a lot. Bit of a stretch. And I've got a Voice of Truth in hand, and with that massive, massive investment from Martis, we're gonna be able to just dump the stat line down really nicely with the Voice of Truth. And we're in an amazing position afterwards. Just considering where to place the forest. maybe on the low spot here to get some collections. But now that's no longer a very threatening monstrosity. He spent a lot of Faeria to get there, so he just surrenders. And Mono Green Beastmaster actually beating out the monstrosity. I think it was a bit of a miss for Martis to go in like that, but he did, and we got rewarded big time. So we will take the crown for the Aurora Seasonal Cup without using any DLC. That was what I was most excited about. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and we'll have to do the Runin Open number 1 next week or something. See you guys then.